Are you tired of the endless grind, the daily commute, and the feeling that you're stuck in a loop, living someone else's dream? What if I told you there's a path to freedom? A way to reclaim your time, fire your boss, and truly live life on your own terms? Today, we're diving deep into Matt Morris's groundbreaking book, The Unemployed Millionaire. Escape the rat race, fire your boss, and live life on your terms. This isn't just another business book. It's a manifesto for a new kind of freedom, a roadmap for breaking free from conventional wisdom and designing a life of abundance, purpose, and genuine fulfillment. We're going to explore powerful strategies that have helped countless individuals transform their financial realities and unlock extraordinary lives. So settle in, get comfortable, and prepare to have your perspective shifted. By the end of this journey, you'll not only understand how to escape the rat race, but also how to build a life where you are the ultimate boss. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this episode with anyone who needs a dose of financial freedom, and subscribe to Vibe Audiobook for more transformative insights. Let's begin our journey into the unemployed millionaire. Chapter 1: The New Reality of Wealth and Freedom. Matt Morris opens The Unemployed Millionaire by challenging everything we thought we knew about work, wealth, and retirement. For generations, the formula was simple: go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years, and then retire. But Morris argues that this traditional path is not only outdated, but often leads to a life of quiet desperation, where dreams are deferred and freedom is a distant fantasy. He introduces us to the new reality of wealth and freedom, where the internet and modern business models have created unprecedented opportunities for individuals to build significant income streams without the constraints of a traditional job. Imagine a world where your income isn't tied to your physical presence in an office, where you don't have to trade your time directly for money. This is the world Morris invites us to explore. He paints a vivid picture of the unemployed millionaire, not someone who is literally jobless, but someone who has achieved financial independence to such a degree that they choose to work on their own terms because they love what they do, not because they have to. It's about having total control over your schedule, your location, and your financial destiny. Morris emphasizes that the internet has democratized wealth creation. No longer do you need huge capital investments, extensive infrastructure, or an army of employees to build a successful business. With a laptop, an internet connection, and a burning desire, anyone can tap into global markets and create income streams that were once reserved for large corporations. He challenges the scarcity mindset that often holds people back, replacing it with a vision of abundance and possibility. The key takeaway from this chapter is a powerful shift in perspective. True wealth isn't just about money, it's about the freedom that money buys, the freedom to choose, to experience, and to live life fully. Chapter 2: The Myth of Job Security and the Rise of the Entrepreneur. In this chapter, Morris systematically dismantles the long-held belief in job security. He argues that in today's rapidly changing global economy, the idea of a lifelong job with one company is largely a myth. Corporations are constantly restructuring, outsourcing, and downsizing, often leaving loyal employees adrift. The illusion of security can be a dangerous trap, lulling individuals into a false sense of comfort while their skills become obsolete or their positions are eliminated. He introduces the concept that the only true job security comes from within, from developing your skills, building your own assets, and taking control of your income-generating abilities. This leads naturally to the rise of the entrepreneur. Morris isn't just talking about Silicon Valley tech giants. He's talking about anyone who takes initiative to create value and generate income independently. He highlights the power of self-employment and small business ownership, particularly in the online realm. Think about a skilled graphic designer who, instead of working for a single agency, builds a thriving freelance business serving clients globally. Or a passionate chef who, instead of opening a traditional restaurant, creates an online cooking course and sells digital recipes. These individuals are unemployed millionaires in spirit, leveraging their talents to create financial freedom without being tied to a traditional employer. Morris shares compelling statistics and anecdotes to illustrate how the entrepreneurial path, while sometimes perceived as risky, often offers far more control and security than relying on a corporate paycheck. He encourages listeners to shed their fear of the unknown and embrace the entrepreneurial mindset, viewing challenges as opportunities and learning as a continuous process. The essence here is empowerment. You are responsible for your own economic future, and the entrepreneurial path provides the most direct route to shaping that future. Chapter 3. The Power of Leverage. Working smarter, not harder. This chapter is a game changer, revealing one of the most fundamental principles of wealth creation: leverage. Morris explains that traditional employment often involves a one-to-one exchange of time for money. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. This model has inherent limitations because there are only so many hours in a day. To become an unemployed millionaire, you need to break free from this linear equation and learn to leverage your efforts. Leverage, Morris explains, comes in many forms. The most powerful in the digital age is systems leverage. Instead of doing everything yourself, you create systems that work for you, even when you're not actively involved. Think of a well-designed sales funnel for an online product. Customers discover the product, learn about its benefits, and make a purchase all automatically, day or night. This system leverages technology to generate income without your constant intervention. Another form is people leverage, often found in network marketing or building a team. By empowering others to succeed, you indirectly leverage their efforts to grow a larger enterprise. This isn't about exploiting people, it's about creating a win-win scenario where everyone benefits from shared growth. Morris also touches on capital leverage, where you use money to make more money, such as investing in real estate or the stock market. However, his primary focus for the aspiring unemployed millionaire is on the accessible forms of leverage that don't require vast sums of initial capital, mainly systems and technology. He uses the metaphor of building a pipeline versus carrying buckets of water. Most people spend their lives carrying buckets, trading their time for money. The truly wealthy build pipelines, systems that deliver continuous value and income long after the initial effort is expended. This chapter is a wake-up call to start thinking strategically about how to multiply your efforts and generate income passively rather than relying solely on active work. It's about designing a business and a life where your time is no longer the limiting factor.
Chapter 4. The Mentality of a Millionaire. Shifting your inner game. Before you can build external wealth, Morris argues, you must cultivate an internal millionaire mindset. This chapter delves into the psychological foundations of success, emphasizing that your beliefs, attitudes, and habits are far more critical than your circumstances. He highlights that many aspiring entrepreneurs are held back not by a lack of resources or opportunities, but by limiting beliefs, fear of failure, and a scarcity mentality. Morris stresses the importance of belief in oneself and one's vision. If you don't truly believe you can achieve financial freedom, you'll unconsciously sabotage your efforts. He encourages readers to identify and challenge these limiting beliefs, replacing them with empowering affirmations and a clear vision of their desired future. This isn't just positive thinking, it's about rewiring your brain for success. He also talks about the importance of resilience. The path to financial freedom is rarely a straight line. It's filled with setbacks, rejections, and moments of doubt. A millionaire mindset isn't afraid of failure. It sees it as feedback, a valuable learning opportunity to pivot and improve. Morris shares his own struggles and how he learned to embrace adversity as a stepping stone. Another crucial aspect is taking personal responsibility. Unemployed millionaires don't blame external factors. They own their choices and their results. They understand that while they can't control everything, they can always control their response and their effort. This mindset fosters a proactive approach to problem solving and goal achievement. Finally, Morris touches on the concept of abundance. Instead of viewing the world as a zero-sum game where one person's gain is another's loss, millionaires operate from a place of abundance, believing there's enough success, wealth, and opportunity for everyone. This mentality fosters collaboration, generosity, and an openness to new possibilities. This chapter is about an internal transformation, preparing you to handle the challenges and opportunities that come with building true freedom. Chapter 5. Identifying your vehicle. Finding your path to freedom. With the right mindset in place, the next crucial step is identifying the specific vehicle that will transport you to financial freedom. Morris understands that there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one person might not work for another. This chapter is all about self-discovery and strategic alignment. He encourages readers to start by exploring their passions, skills, and existing knowledge. What are you naturally good at? What do you enjoy doing? What problems do you love solving? The most sustainable and fulfilling paths often emerge from these intrinsic motivations. He reminds us that true work, when aligned with passion, feels less like a chore and more like a joyful pursuit. Morris then outlines several common and effective vehicles for building an unemployed millionaire lifestyle in the digital age. Network marketing, or multi-level marketing. He champions network marketing as a powerful model for leverage, personal development, and building passive income, especially for those with strong communication and leadership skills. He debunks common misconceptions and highlights the importance of choosing a reputable company with a valuable product and a supportive community. Affiliate marketing. This involves promoting other companies' products and earning a commission on sales. It's a low-risk way to get started, as you don't need to create your own products or handle customer service. Think of reviewing a product you love on your blog or YouTube channel and including an affiliate link. Information products. Creating and selling digital products like ebooks, online courses, webinars, or membership sites. This leverages your knowledge and expertise, allowing you to serve a global audience repeatedly without creating new content for each sale. A fitness expert could create an online workout program, or a language teacher could sell a digital course. E-commerce, dropshipping, or print-on-demand. Selling physical products online without needing to manage inventory yourself. Dropshipping involves a third-party supplier shipping directly to your customer, while print-on-demand allows you to create custom designs for products like t-shirts or mugs that are only printed when an order is placed. Services, coaching, or consulting. Leveraging your expertise to provide high-value services to clients. This could be business coaching, financial consulting, life coaching, or specialized digital marketing services. Morris stresses the importance of choosing a vehicle that resonates with you and aligns with your strengths. He also advises against shiny object syndrome, encouraging listeners to focus on one vehicle, master it, and give it enough time to generate results before jumping to the next one. This chapter is a practical guide to turning your interests and aptitudes into a profitable, freedom-generating enterprise. Chapter 6. Building your foundation, the blueprint for online success. Once you've chosen your vehicle, the next step is to lay a solid foundation for your online business. This chapter provides a practical blueprint, focusing on essential elements that will ensure your venture is robust, scalable, and sustainable. Morris breaks down the seemingly complex world of online business into manageable, actionable steps. He starts with the absolute necessity of a strong online presence. This typically means having a professional website or blog that serves as your central hub. It's where potential customers or team members can learn about you, your offerings, and how you can help them. Think of it as your virtual storefront and communication center. Next, Morris emphasizes the power of list building. This involves collecting email addresses of interested individuals, creating an asset that allows you to communicate directly with your audience, build relationships, and promote your products or services. The money is in the list is a common adage in online marketing, and Morris explains why. He guides listeners on setting up email autoresponders and creating valuable lead magnets, free content offered in exchange for an email address. Content creation is another cornerstone. Whether it's blog posts, YouTube videos, podcasts, or social media updates, consistently providing valuable content helps you attract your target audience, establish your authority, and build trust. Morris advises focusing on solving problems for your audience and delivering consistent value. Then he moves to traffic generation. No matter how great your product or service is, it won't succeed if no one knows about it. Morris explores various strategies, including search engine optimization, or SEO, social media marketing, leveraging platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn to connect with your audience, paid advertising, using platforms like Google Ads or Facebook Ads to quickly reach a targeted audience, and joint ventures and collaborations, partnering with other entrepreneurs to cross-promote each other's offerings. Morris emphasizes that while these elements might seem daunting initially, they are all learnable skills. He encourages a learn-by-doing approach, starting small and continually optimizing your systems. The key message here is to build your business systematically, focusing on creating automated processes that allow your efforts to scale beyond your direct involvement. This foundation is what transforms active work into passive income. Chapter 7, The Art of Marketing and Selling, Connecting with Your Audience. Many people shy away from marketing and selling, associating it with pushy tactics or manipulation. In this chapter, Morris reframes these essential activities as the art of marketing and selling, emphasizing connection, value, and ethical influence. He argues that true selling isn't about convincing someone to buy something they don't need. It's about helping people solve their problems and achieve their desires. He starts by stressing the importance of understanding your target audience. Who are they? What are their pain points? What are their dreams and aspirations? The more deeply you understand your audience, the better you can tailor your message and offer solutions that truly resonate. This requires empathy and active listening, both in person and through market research. Morris then delves into the power of storytelling. People don't buy products, they buy solutions, emotions, and transformations. Stories connect with us on a human level, making abstract concepts relatable and memorable. Sharing your personal journey, testimonials from satisfied customers, or case studies can be incredibly effective at building trust and demonstrating value. He advocates for a value-first approach. Instead of immediately trying to sell, focus on providing immense value to your audience for free. This builds goodwill, establishes your expertise, and positions you as a trusted resource. When you consistently give, people are naturally more inclined to listen when you eventually present an offer. Regarding the actual selling process, Morris champions attraction marketing. This is about attracting interested prospects to you rather than chasing them. By consistently creating valuable content, building a strong personal brand, and being visible where your audience spends time online, you naturally draw in people who are already predisposed to your message. He also touches on the importance of follow-up. Not everyone will buy on their first interaction. A well-designed follow-up system, often through email marketing, nurtures leads, addresses objections, and gently guides prospects toward a decision. The essence of this chapter is that ethical and effective marketing and selling are about serving, educating, and building genuine relationships, leading to win-win outcomes for both you and your customers. Chapter 8, Mastering Your Time and Productivity, Reclaiming Your Life. One of the primary motivations for becoming an unemployed millionaire is to gain control over your time. However, many entrepreneurs find themselves working even longer hours than they did in a traditional job. This chapter focuses on mastering time and productivity, ensuring that your pursuit of freedom truly delivers it. Morris starts by debunking the myth of multitasking. He argues that trying to do too many things at once actually decreases efficiency and increases stress. Instead, he advocates for focused, deep work, dedicating blocks of uninterrupted time to high-priority tasks. He introduces several practical strategies for effective time management. Prioritization, learning to distinguish between urgent and important tasks. Morris often suggests identifying the one thing that, if accomplished, would make everything else easier or unnecessary. Batching similar tasks. Grouping similar activities together. Example, answering emails, making phone calls, creating social media content, to minimize context switching and improve efficiency. Setting boundaries. Protecting your work time from distractions and your personal time from work creep. This includes learning to say no to non-essential requests. Leveraging automation and delegation. Identifying tasks that can be automated through technology or delegated to others, freeing up your valuable time for higher-level activities. This goes back to the principle of leverage from Chapter 3. Ultimately, this chapter is about intentional living. It's about designing your day and your work-life balance consciously, rather than letting external demands dictate your schedule. The goal is not just to make more money, but to create a lifestyle where you have the freedom to spend your time on what truly matters to you, whether that's family.
Welcome to Vibe Audiobook, where we transform profound insights into an auditory journey that resonates with your soul. Today, we're diving deep into a book that promises to revolutionize your understanding of wealth, happiness, and the often misunderstood dance between the two. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness. Have you ever wondered why some people, despite earning massive incomes, struggle with financial peace, while others, with more modest means, build lasting wealth and live fulfilling lives? The answer, as Housel brilliantly reveals, lies not just in spreadsheets and stock market charts, but in the intricate workings of our minds, our emotions, and our unique experiences. This isn't just another book about finance. It's a deep exploration into the human element of money, the biases, the behaviors, and the often irrational decisions that shape our financial destinies. In this captivating summary, we'll unravel Housel's timeless lessons chapter by chapter, presented in a warm, storytelling tone that feels like a friendly guide is speaking directly to you. We'll explore why luck and risk are two sides of the same coin, the insidious nature of never enough, the true cost of financial independence, and the profound power of simply saying enough. Get ready to gain powerful insights that will not only change how you manage your money, but more importantly, how you think about life itself. So, lean back, relax, and let the wisdom flow. But before we begin, if you find value in these insights, please take a moment to hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Vibe Audiobook for more transformative summaries. Your support helps us bring more profound wisdom to your ears. Let's begin this journey into the psychology of money. Chapter 1. No One's Crazy. Imagine you're watching someone make what seems like an utterly foolish financial decision. You might shake your head, baffled by their choices. But Morgan Housel argues that no one's crazy. What seems irrational to you might be perfectly logical to someone else given their unique experiences, upbringing, and understanding of the world. Our individual experiences with money are incredibly diverse. Someone who grew up in poverty will have a drastically different relationship with saving and spending than someone who grew up in affluence. Think about it. Your parents' financial struggles or triumphs, the economic recessions you lived through, the opportunities you were exposed to, all these factors shape your personal financial worldview. For example, someone who lived through the Great Depression might hoard cash even in times of prosperity because their past taught them the brutal reality of economic collapse. Their behavior, while seemingly irrational to a younger generation, is a direct, logical response to their unique history. Housel emphasizes that judging others' financial decisions without understanding their full context is a futile exercise. Instead, we should recognize that our own financial behaviors are equally shaped by our own peculiar experiences. This chapter is a powerful reminder of humility and empathy in the world of money. It tells us that there's no single right way to think about money, only ways that make sense to individuals based on their own unique journeys. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Luck and risk are two sides of the same coin, often indistinguishable in retrospect, yet profoundly impactful on our financial outcomes. Housel illustrates this with compelling stories of individuals who achieved extraordinary success only to attribute it solely to their hard work, completely overlooking the role of luck. Conversely, those who fail often blame external circumstances, ignoring the inherent risks they undertook. Consider Bill Gates. Undeniably brilliant and hard-working, but Housel points out a crucial element. Gates attended one of the few high schools in the world at the time that had a computer, and he had practically unlimited access to it. This was an immense stroke of luck, a rare opportunity that propelled his early genius. Many equally brilliant minds born elsewhere or a few years earlier didn't have that same access. The lesson here is profound. While effort and skill are vital, we must acknowledge the invisible forces of luck and risk. When evaluating financial success or failure, it's rarely 100% merit or 100% misfortune. It's a complex interplay. Housel encourages us to be humble when successful, recognizing that luck played a part, and to be forgiving when we fail, understanding that risk is an unavoidable companion in any endeavor. It's about building a financial strategy that acknowledges both the things within our control and the powerful, unpredictable forces beyond it. Chapter 3. Never Enough. Never Enough explores the perilous trap of insatiable desire, even among the incredibly wealthy. Housel recounts the story of Rajat Gupta, a brilliant and successful CEO who, despite accumulating immense wealth, risked it all for insider trading and ended up in prison. Why? Because even with hundreds of millions, it wasn't enough. This chapter delves into the dangerous psychological boundary between having enough and constantly striving for more. The problem isn't the desire for wealth itself, but the inability to define when enough is enough. Social comparison, especially in today's hyper-connected world, fuels this insatiability. We see others with bigger houses, fancier cars, or more lucrative investments, and suddenly our own substantial achievements feel inadequate. Housel's crucial insight is that the highest form of wealth is the ability to control your time and live life on your own terms. Chasing more indefinitely often leads to taking excessive risks, sacrificing relationships, and ultimately losing the very freedom and happiness that wealth is supposed to provide. The antidote is cultivating contentment and defining your own enough before the endless pursuit consumes you. Chapter 4. Confounding compounding. The power of compounding is often understood mathematically, but Housel shows us its psychological difficulty. Compounding is counterintuitive because its most powerful effects are often invisible for stretches of time. It requires patience, discipline, and the ability to delay gratification, traits that go against many of our immediate desires. Think of Warren Buffett. His genius isn't just about picking great stocks, it's about consistently doing so for over 70 years. Housel points out that the vast majority of Buffett's multi-billion-dollar fortune was accumulated after his 50th birthday, thanks to the exponential growth of compounding. If Buffett had started investing in his 30s and retired in his 60s, he would be wealthy, but nowhere near the legendary status he holds today. The compounding confounding chapter teaches us that truly incredible results don't come from a single brilliant decision or a massive one-time gain, but from the consistent, almost boring application of good principles over extended periods. It's about letting time be your most powerful ally.
This requires an almost Zen-like approach to investing, trusting the process, ignoring the noise, and understanding that the magic happens not in a flash, but in the relentless ticking of the clock. Chapter 5. Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Getting wealthy often involves taking risks, being optimistic, and constantly seeking growth. Staying wealthy, however, is an entirely different beast. It demands a paranoid mindset, a deep understanding of survival, and a willingness to be defensive. Housel articulates this crucial distinction by highlighting that many people focus solely on the accumulation phase, neglecting the preservation phase. He uses the example of long-term capital management, a hedge fund run by Nobel laureates who created complex algorithms that were supposed to be fail-proof. They got incredibly wealthy incredibly fast, but their lack of a survival mindset and their excessive risk-taking led to a catastrophic collapse. They focused on optimizing for return, not for resilience. The key lesson here is that financial success isn't just about hitting home runs, it's about not striking out. Staying wealthy means building a margin of safety into your life. It means having enough cash reserves to weather unexpected storms, diversifying your investments, and avoiding bets that could wipe you out entirely. Housel argues that the ability to stay in the game, to survive market downturns and personal setbacks, is ultimately more important than any single investment return. Survival is the ultimate goal of long-term wealth building.
Chapter 6. Tails, You Win. This chapter introduces a concept that's often overlooked, the impact of extreme outliers. Housel argues that a small number of events, or tails, drive the majority of outcomes in finance and many other areas of life. We often spend too much time analyzing the average or the median, when the true impact comes from the rare, exceptional events. Think about venture capital. A VC firm might invest in 100 startups, knowing that 80 to 90 of them will fail, a few will break even, and perhaps 1 or 2 will generate 90% of the returns for the entire fund. The strategy isn't to pick every winner, but to ensure you're in a position to benefit from the rare, massive success. The implication for personal finance is significant. Don't dismiss an investment just because some of its components might fail. For example, if you invest in a diversified stock portfolio, you're not expecting every single company to be a winner. You're counting on a few tails, a few exceptionally successful companies to drive your overall returns. This chapter frees us from the need for perfection and encourages us to embrace diversification and patience, understanding that the biggest rewards come from allowing those rare, powerful tail events to unfold. Chapter 7. Freedom. What is the ultimate benefit of money? Housel argues it's not fancy cars, luxurious homes, or designer clothes. The highest form of wealth is freedom. It's the ability to control your time, to wake up each day and say, I can do whatever I want, with whomever I want, for as long as I want. He points out that working a high-paying job you hate just to afford status symbols is a form of poverty. You might have a lot of money, but you lack true autonomy. Conversely, someone with a more modest income but significant control over their schedule and choices might be far wealthier in the truest sense. This chapter shifts our focus from simply accumulating money to thinking about what money buys. And what it truly buys, Housel asserts, is independence. It's the option to retire early, to pursue a passion project, to spend more time with family, or simply to not have to deal with annoying people. Financial independence gives you the ultimate luxury, time. It encourages us to prioritize savings and investments that create this freedom, rather than falling into the trap of lifestyle inflation that keeps us tethered to our jobs. Chapter 8. Man in the Car Paradox. Have you ever seen someone driving a luxurious car and thought, wow, that person must be successful and important? Housel reveals the man in the car paradox. When you see someone driving a fancy car, you rarely think about the person driving the car.
Instead, you imagine yourself in that car, experiencing the prestige and admiration. The paradox is this. People buy expensive things to signal their wealth and success to others, but those others are often more interested in themselves than in the person driving the car. They're not thinking, look at that amazing person. They're thinking, if I had that car, I would be amazing. This chapter is a powerful critique of status spending. It highlights how many of us spend money on things that we believe will impress others, but which often fail to do so. True respect and admiration don't come from material possessions. They come from character, kindness, and genuine achievement. Housel suggests that living below your means and focusing on experiences and relationships rather than external validation leads to greater happiness and financial security. The real flex is not needing to flex at all.
Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. Following on from the man in the car paradox, this chapter deepens the idea that true wealth is often invisible. What you see, the big house, the fancy car, the expensive watch, is usually debt, not wealth. Wealth is the money you have saved, the investments you've made, the financial options you've created for your future. It's what you don't spend. Housel argues that it's easy to look wealthy, but much harder to be wealthy. Someone driving a Ferrari might have taken on massive debt to do so, while someone living in a modest home and driving an older car might have millions in their investment accounts. The problem is, you can't see their investment accounts. This lesson encourages us to redefine our perception of wealth. Stop comparing yourself to what others display, because what they display often tells you nothing about their true financial health. Focus instead on building your own invisible wealth, your savings, your diversified portfolio, your emergency fund. These are the components that truly provide security, freedom, and peace of mind, far more than any flashy possession ever could. Chapter 10. Save Money. This chapter's title seems straightforward, but Housel delves into the profound psychological reasons why saving money is so crucial, far beyond just accumulating a nest egg. He argues that your savings rate, more than your investment returns or your income level, is the most powerful determinant of your financial future. Why? Because saving is the only variable entirely within your control. You can't control market returns, you can't guarantee a massive salary increase, but you can control how much you choose to save from your income. Housel emphasizes that the ability to save is a reflection of your lifestyle choices, your priorities, and your willingness to delay gratification. He also introduces the concept of optionality. The more you save, the more options you create for yourself. It allows you to take a career break, to start a business, to negotiate for better terms, or to simply walk away from a bad situation. Saving isn't just about retirement. It's about building a buffer against life's uncertainties and giving yourself maximum flexibility. It's the ultimate tool for controlling your own destiny, providing peace of mind that no luxury item can ever match.
Chapter 11. Reasonable, greater than rational. When it comes to money, we often strive to be rational, to make decisions based purely on logic and data to maximize our financial outcomes. But Housel makes a compelling case for being reasonable instead. The difference is subtle but critical. Rationality often demands perfection and can lead to paralysis or choices that are technically optimal but emotionally unsustainable. Reasonableness acknowledges our human nature, our biases, and our need for peace of mind. For example, a purely rational investor might try to time the market perfectly, buying at the absolute bottom and selling at the absolute top. This is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to achieve consistently. A reasonable investor, however, might opt for a diversified portfolio and consistent dollar-cost averaging, knowing they won't always hit the optimal points, but they will achieve good, consistent results over time without immense stress. This chapter teaches us that financial success isn't about being a supercomputer. It's about finding a strategy that you can stick with for the long term, even when emotions run high. It means accepting good enough rather than always chasing perfect. A reasonable approach prioritizes long-term consistency, mental well-being, and avoiding catastrophic errors, even if it means missing out on some theoretically higher returns. This approach is far more sustainable for most people. Chapter 12. Surprise. History is filled with surprises, events that nobody saw coming yet had massive impacts on our lives and our finances. Hauser reminds us that the past is a guide, not a definitive roadmap to the future. We often extrapolate current trends indefinitely or assume that past patterns will repeat precisely. This is a dangerous assumption because the truly impactful events are almost always the ones that defy prediction. Think about the invention of the Internet, the fall of the Berlin Wall, or the COVID-19 pandemic. These were surprises that reshaped economies and societies. If you built a financial plan based solely on pre-internet assumptions, you would have been woefully unprepared. The lesson here is profound. Plan for the unexpected. Build a robust financial life that can withstand shocks you can't foresee. This means having an emergency fund, diversifying your investments, avoiding excessive leverage, and maintaining flexibility. Housel suggests that instead of trying to predict the next big surprise, we should focus on building resilience so that whatever comes, we are in a position to weather the storm and even capitalize on new opportunities that emerge from the chaos. Prepare for surprises by being anti-fragile. Chapter 13. Room for Error. Room for error is Hausel's elegant term for what many call a margin of safety. It's the idea that when you make financial plans, you should build in a buffer, an extra cushion to account for things going wrong or simply not going as planned. Life rarely follows a perfectly linear trajectory.